Well, hello once again. Glad you decided to join me for this Alabama adventure. And what an Alabama this adventure was today, and certainly could be if we went into a little bit more detail. I'll just only try to touch the top of several subjects as we go through Rockford. There's Rockford, Alabama is where we're going. Anyway, there is so much that has went on in Rockford and this part of Coosa County that books could be written about it. And as a matter of fact, they have. Uh, a couple of so years ago, I was fortunate enough to meet one of the authors of the book titled Hank Blue. Uh, Kind of an unusual name. It's a kind of a paranormal book, but it involved several murders that also involved witchcraft and voodoo and all that type of stuff that you wouldn't think went on in a little small town like this of a population on the last census, I believe, was about 477 people. It's just a very rural looking little country town. It's a nice place. I enjoy going down there. It's a very pretty place with all the rock work and that kind of stuff, as you're going to see a little bit later on. I do want to get back to that book, though, just a minute and tell you a little bit about it because you might want to find this book somewhere and pick it up and read it, or it could be online or something like that. But I got to move a little bit closer to the screen so I can see it. Anyway, it says Jenny Scott did not disclose the address of the Rockford, Alabama home she said was haunted. Although she and her family moved, Scott and paranormal researcher Kim Johnson are concerned about thrill seekers and ghost hunters disturbing the new owners. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the book that they've got here. In 2012, when Jenny Scott moved with her husband and her three children into a home in the small Coosa town of Rockford, she wondered about the former owner's choice of decor. Every surface of the second floor was painted blue. Walls, built-in shelves, and even switch plates. Over the course of the next 6 months, Scott would come to know it as Hank Blue, a pale shade that superstitious Southerners would paint on porch ceilings to ward off evil spirits. Now, that's about all I know about that. Of course, I was fortunate enough at a paranormal conference here a few years ago to meet the young lady that wrote this book, and I got to talk to her. And after we got to talking, there was a lot of things that I remembered. She called a lot of people's names that I remembered, a lot of lawyers, just a whole lot of stuff that I remembered over the years whenever this murder and everything was taking place. I didn't know a whole lot about it until she explained it in her book, and I do want to read this book myself as soon as I can. I know it'll be very interesting. But what we did, we went down to, or I did, I went down through Rockford this afternoon, and I was running late, and I didn't get to go into as much detail on the little field trip as I would like to. But anyway, I do have a video that I want you to watch about Rockford, and we're going to see the old Rockford jail that's been there for many, many years. It's a rock building with the bars on the windows. We're going to introduce you to a dog down there, Fred the dog, and you may know Fred the dog. Fred had his own TV show here a while back. He was featured as the town dog of Rockford. And now there's two different stories of the way Fred died. Of course, somebody's always got to tell a lie whenever you start telling history or something. I will read what is on Wikipedia about him, and I'm sure that that's true. But I had heard that Fred, and you will hear me mention in the video that Fred was assassinated. That's what I was told several years ago whenever Fred died, that he was hit by a car down there one day. But I'll go into a little bit more detail on Fred when we get down there. I do want to show you a haunted cemetery. The old Rockford jail is supposed to be haunted, and I hope you enjoy that. But I won't go into all the detail right now. We'll go on this little field trip, and I'll take you through a little tour of Rockford.
And now, from the tail end of the Appalachian mountain chain in the heart of the South, this is Alabama Adventures.
Well, hi ho today, boys and girls. I've got a little somewhere we're going to go, and a few things I want to show you when we get there. We're going to go down to Rockford, Alabama. There's a cemetery down there that's supposed to be haunted or have some sounds at night. I'm going to tell you about that. I'm going to show you a little bit of the town. I'm going to show you some of the scenery down here, some of the granite outcroppings. There's a lot of, I guess that's why it's called Rockford, because there's a lot of rocks and stones in people's yards and along the highway and stuff. It's just a beautiful place in Coosa County, I believe, is the county that it's in. But anyway, let's go to Rockford. Okay, I'm going to try to video some of these rocks right here just through the windshield, because every time I start to pull over, somebody's riding my butt. And this is some of the stuff you'll see, some of the scenery you'll see when you come down to Rockford. Right here is a little bit more. I'm just going to try to catch it as we're going down the road. Seems like everybody's come to Rockford since I did. Anyway, here's another large, I'll just hold this out the window right now and see if I can catch this. All out in the woods, you can see all type of stones, and I'm sort of having to go a little faster than what I want to, but everybody's in a hurry. They got to get somewhere. Okay, I wanted to show you a little bit of rock outcropping, or whatever you want to call it, right across the road. We're fixing to cross the Coosa River, headed into Rockford, and I want to show you that real quick. Okay, now here we're coming across, not sure what the name of this bridge is. Not really sure what the name of this dam is, but I do want you to see it over here. And we are, this is the Coosa River. Now let me get you a little shot on the other side of the dam as soon as this deadbeat gets out of the way. Long way up in the air right here, but anyway, just a little bit of scenery I want you to see, and the river is flowing today. Looks like some dogwoods are already blooming here in February. And then I have a little something right up here I want you to see as you come across the river bridge, where the road was cut through a mountain. Show you some tall mountains right here with a lot of rock work, not rock work, but a lot of natural rock formations, as you can see. You don't never know what you'll see when you come to Alabama. You could see some giant chickens standing in somebody's yard, and a crane or something. Could be a stork. Let me get you a little shot of this lake down in the woods, where they have cut some wood alongside of the road. And anyway, just a little something else to see when you come to Rockford. Okay, now just as you come into town, you're going to come by the Rockford Cemetery. It's a very old cemetery. That's why I want to get a little bit of it, and I'll show you the sign right there as you come in, and we'll look at a little bit of the cemetery real quick. All right, this is the middle of town of Rockford right here, and this is the Coosa County Courthouse. And this was one of the main things that I wanted you to see when we came down, but somebody's painted it and just ruined the looks of it. It was an old brown brick building. It was a very nice looking building the last time I was down here, but I guess somebody's relative needed a job painting the courthouse to make a little money, and I guess that's what happened. But that, to me, in my opinion, that ruined the looks of the courthouse. But anyway, it looks more modern. It was a very, very nice looking courthouse many years ago. Let me just give you a quick shot of down Main Street of town right here. And I believe this is the intersection of 231 and 21, I believe. But anyway, let's go on over to, and I'll show you the Rockford jail. Okay, now the wind's beginning to pick up, and I hope there's not any wind noise on the camera. I'm having to talk with my glasses in my mouth again. But anyway, this is the old Rockford jail, and there's a historic marker over there, and we'll go over there and read that. I want you to see this. This is supposed to be haunted, of course, but anyway, we'll go over and read the historic marker right quick. Okay, it says Rockford Jail. Coosa County Commissioners authorized the construction of the new jail in August of 1839. It was built with local stone and completed in 1842 at a cost of about $2,745. Improvements were ordered in 1857, including new ironwork. In operation for over 9 decades, the jail closed in 1938. The Coosa County Historical Preservation Authority opened a museum in the facility in 1973. The building remains largely unchanged from the original construction. It is listed on the National Register of Historic Places as the oldest stone jail in Alabama, placed in honor of Reverend James Thomas Fielding family. But anyway, we'll move on around to something else. Here's the old steel door as you went in with steel hinges, as you can see, and notice how closely these bars are together. They didn't want anybody getting out of here. And let me see if I can fan up a little bit and give you a view. It's a 3-story jailhouse. But anyway, just sort of let you see what it sort of looks like. Okay, here's the other end, and you can see the chimney up there on top, but I want to give you a pretty good view of the old jail. That looks like an old wooden door right down there, but anyway, it is on the historical register, so I did want you to see it. Okay, now I believe this is the city park, and I'm going to tell you a little something about it. A couple of things here in the park that I want to tell you about real quick. One is right here. This is the final resting place of Fred the dog. He was the town dog down here in Rockford, and here's a picture of him. I'll try to get a good picture of him on video there for you. But anyway, Fred was assassinated down here one day, and I'll tell you that story when we get back home. I also want to show you this war memorial right over here. Okay, now let me break in here for just a minute and talk a minute about Fred. Now, according to Wikipedia, this is the story of Fred. Let me get a little closer once again where I can see it. In 1993, a sick and bedraggled dog wandered into Rockford. The animal was called Fred and was nursed back to health by town residents. For the next 10 years, Fred was the town mascot. Fred gained popularity through a regular newspaper column, A Dog's Life, about his activities and encounters, and then got national recognition after he was profiled on the Animal Planet. Fred died on December 23, 2002 in a Birmingham animal hospital from a mysterious animal bite. He was buried behind the town's old jailhouse. A full-size grave marker donated by a Montgomery businessman was added in May of 2003. Fred was inducted to the Alabama Veterinary Medical Association Animal Hall of Fame in 2004. In 2014, the story was turned into a short film documentary titled Fred, the Town Dog. Now that's according to Wikipedia. I was told whenever Fred died many years ago, a friend of mine that lived in that area, told me that Fred was crossing the intersection, and I'll show you that intersection a little bit later on in this video. And that's why I said that Fred was assassinated. He was either hit by a car or a truck down there one day. Anyway, it was a very sad thing because I had always heard of Fred being down there, and I wanted to go see him. That was back when Chico was alive, and he and I were both going to go down there, but we just never made it. The thing about Fred, everybody that went down there said that Fred always hung out around the courthouse or a house right down there pretty close by where somebody took good care of him. And a lot of times he could be seen at the little convenient gas station, convenience store gas station there at the intersection. And he loved honey buns. And everybody that met Fred bought him a honey bun and fed him a honey bun. And the guy that was telling me said a lot of times you would go through Rockford and said, of course, somebody might be sitting in a chair out there somewhere, but said they'd be feeding Fred a honey bun. That was his favorite food, I guess, just like Chico's favorite food was spaghetti. Every time that I cooked spaghetti, Chico would eat a bowl full of spaghetti. But that's just the way dogs are. They're just like us. They have their favorite foods and that type of stuff. But anyway, it's two different stories on what happened to Fred. But I guess we'll go with the one that Wikipedia has about him dying of a mysterious animal bite. But that might seem a little paranormal to somebody, and we sure can't have that. But anyway, I just wanted to break in and tell you the story of Fred real quick. This is a war memorial here in Coosa County of the veterans that have served their country. I wanted to show you that real quick. I won't read all the names, but maybe you can see somebody that you might notice or might know from down here in Coosa County, and I'll go around to the other side. It's just blank on the back side. But anyway, I did want to show you that. I was here the day that this memorial was erected, or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, let's move on to something else I got to show you. Okay, now I'm breaking in once again on the video. I want to tell you something about this war memorial that is in Coosa County down there. There was a lady that lived in Coosa County. She was a veteran. Matter of fact, she was an elderly lady whenever I met her, and I only met her very recently, but I believe she's passed away now. Anyway, what it was, she had tried and tried for many years to get this monument in Coosa County down there to all the veterans. And for some reason, they wouldn't fund it, or they wouldn't go along with it, or whatever. So this lady, who was a veteran of World War II, as a matter of fact, she was a nurse at Pearl Harbor the day that it was bombed, and I remember her telling some of the things that happened over there that day, that the hospital she was working in, how low and how close these Japanese planes were flying over the top of that, and bombs were just going off all around her, and all this type of stuff. The day that Pearl Harbor was bombed, and it was I know it was a horrifying experience for all the soldiers over there, but she was telling about the casualties and wounded that were brought to the hospital and that type of stuff. And but anyway, that would be all for another video sometime. But anyway, what she did, she couldn't get the county to fund this Veterans Memorial, so she just paid for it herself. And I wish I could remember her name. If I remember her name later on, I will certainly mention her in a future video. She was a very patriotic, very nice lady, and she funded this war memorial out of her own pocket. And wherever, if she still is, I believe she's passed away now, but if she happens to listen to this, we do thank you very much for that. And all the veterans everywhere should thank people that contribute their money and time for something like this. Right across from the park, you can see a large piece of granite outcropping right there in town. Okay, here's something else I wanted to show you. It's just right outside of Rockford. Anyway, it's an old church and cemetery. It's a very old looking, as you can tell. I just want to fan this part of the cemetery. Addition of the cemetery is right across the road here. And let me swing around and give you a shot of it. And that's what I came here to tell you about. This is the more modern part of the cemetery up here. And anyway, right here along highway, I'm not sure what highway this is. I think it's 21. No, maybe 231. I believe this is 21. Anyway, what I wanted to tell you about these steps up to the cemetery, they're supposed to be haunted. I can't remember exactly the story on it, and I don't have my notes down here with me today, but I did want to do this. At midnight, you can either walk up to the third step, 1, 2, 3, and stomp 3 times, or it's either on the very top step up there. At midnight, you walk up there and you stomp your foot 3 times, and in the distance, you can hear a baby cry. This is a story that I have heard for many, many years down here. One was from a man that actually was in the monument business, and he was the first person that ever told me that particular story about this particular cemetery being haunted. But I did want to give you a quick shot of that car and the old part of the cemetery. It's a very nice looking church up there, very pretty church. But anyway, never been down here to it. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that about Rockford, and I've got another something I need to show you on the side of the road as we start to leave Rockford, Alabama today. Okay, what I did is I came across the road to the front of the church so I could see the sign and tell you the name of the church, and I'll give you a quick shot of those steps one more time as we're here, and I'll swing on the back side of the cemetery this time so you can get another shot of it and show you the name of this church. A very, very nice looking church. It's called Sears Chapel Methodist Church, and very impressed with the windows and the way the little church is built. It's a very nice looking church. But anyway, as I said, we'll head on out of Rockford. Okay, boys and girls, right here's what I wanted to show you. This is one of the monuments of the state of Alabama right here. I'm not sure if you can see it that well on video, but whoever owns this place, if the truck will get out of the way, whoever owns that place has a big Alabama A in his front yard. And I'm sure if you'd like one, that he'd be glad to come to your house sometime and install you one just as he has. Anyway, let's get on into Rockford and I'll show you a little bit more. Okay, now we're coming right into the middle of town, and I'm going to show you a little bit more before we leave. Right here at this stop sign and this intersection is where Fred the dog was assassinated one day, and I do believe that that was a well-planned conspiracy to kill a poor dog here in the Rockford. But anyway, I'll show you just a little bit of the town as we're on our way out today. Very old store building right there, and the bank. And you can see a lot of houses down here are constructed out of rock. That was the Masonic Hall. One other thing I do want to get a little quick picture of, a little quick video of, is that old drugstore sign over there. You used to see these things everywhere. This is the first one of those I've seen, and I don't know when. I believe it says Crew Rexall Drug, and I'm sure that used to be the drugstore here in town. But as I said, you used to see those kind of signs everywhere. But that's something of the past right there. So I did want to get a good shot of that. And let me get a shot of the flags waving, Alabama and American flag right quick. And anyway, just wanted to show you that while I had run across it. It's here in Rockford. Well, with that, we headed on back to the plantation, and I know you're not supposed to say plantation because that's racist. Either the plantation or the shack, whatever you want to call it. Today I'm calling it, we headed on back to the plantation. And if you don't like it, just learn to live with it, because I don't care. But anyway, I'm just, like most people in the country, I'm just getting tired of all this, you can't say this and you can't say that. I can say about anything I want to, and anytime anybody feels like stopping me, you know where I live. But anyway, I guess I won't get on my political views and that type of stuff this afternoon any more than that. But anyway, had a good time down there today. Met some nice people down that way, and on the way home, run up on some people that I knew. And one man recognized me and stopped and told me about a Bigfoot encounter he'd had just a few nights ago. And it's just a lot of fun to get out and do something like that. You need to try it sometime. But I know a lot of you are sick and shut in just like I was a while back, and you're just not able to get out. And I hope you enjoy watching these videos. And I'm not going to shorten them. I'm not going to leave off the sidetracks and that type of stuff. If you don't like what I'm doing, don't watch it. That's about all I got to say, and that's just the way it's going to be. Anyway, whenever you're doing something for yourself, you can pretty much do what you want to, and that's what I'm gonna do. I do appreciate all the comments I get from everybody saying that they do like the sidetracks and the way that we do the videos down here. Anyway, with all that being said, I'm going to bring this video to a close. If you can make a donation, we sure would appreciate it. Just go to the website and you'll find a place. If you like this video, give us a like, and I certainly hope that you subscribe to the channel. And with all that being said tonight, it's getting on pretty late, so I know I need to get on off of here. But anyway, with all that being said, good Lord willing and the creeks don't rise, I'll see you somewhere on down the trail.